All right, let's jump right in. Today, we've got a seriously fascinating explainer for you. We're going to unpack the massive, invisible, and honestly kind of mind-boggling logistical puzzle that happens long before you ever step foot on a plane. We're going completely behind the scenes of how air travel is actually planned.
I mean, think back to the last time you booked a trip. Maybe you were hunting for flights from Lagos to London or mapping out a big move to study abroad in Canada. You punch in your dates and, boom, you get this list of departure times. But have you ever actually stopped to wonder how they pick that exact flight time? Like, why do some routes have 5 flights a day while others barely exist?
Well, there's an old saying in aviation that scheduling even one single flight is literally one of the most complex puzzles in global business. Airlines absolutely do not just guess when it comes to departure times. Behind every smooth, clean itinerary you look at on your phone is months of insane data crunching, mathematical optimization, super strict regulations, and massive teams of experts.
Okay, let's dive into this chronologically. We're going to look at a 5-step journey: demand forecasting, route planning, fleet assignment, crew scheduling, and finally, day of operations. Let's go right behind the curtain.
It all kicks off months in advance with Phase 1, forecasting passenger demand. Basically, this is the blueprint.
To figure out exactly where people want to go, modern AI is crunching well over 1 million data points. We're talking years of historical bookings, sweeping economic trends, and tracking exactly what the competition is up to. Because honestly, here's the harsh reality of the airline business. If you get this forecast wrong, you're flying a 200-ton metal tube halfway across the world, completely empty, and you're leaving a massive amount of money on the table.
And they're hunting for really specific trends. Say you're looking to study abroad in Canada, working in the UK, or heading on a business trip to Dubai, AI is literally predicting the exact surges for these demographics. They map out school intakes, festive seasons, and major global events to guarantee the capacity is there right when the demand spikes.
So, once the demand is mapped, we move to Phase 2, the hardware. This is where planners lock in the routes and pick the planes.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how they solve the ultimate geography problem using the hub and spoke model. Think of how Ethiopian Airlines routes traffic through Addis Ababa to efficiently funnel passengers from West Africa out to the rest of the world. High-demand corridors like Lagos to London get those strong, frequent flights because the hub-and-spoke math makes it incredibly efficient. But wait, you can't just slap any plane on any route. That brings us to fleet assignment. Planners have to perfectly match an aircraft's size, its range, and its fuel efficiency to the specific route. So, a massive, wide-body jet, that is perfect for long-haul flights across the ocean to North America. But for smaller, local routes, you're going to see smaller, zippier, regional planes.
And it is essentially high-stakes Tetris, played with multi-million-dollar assets across a global map. A plane might fly from Lagos to London, do a quick turnaround, and position itself somewhere else entirely. But here's the catch. Planners absolutely must build in mandatory maintenance checks at very specific airports that actually have the right tools for that specific plane.
Just when you think the puzzle is solved, we hit Phase 3, the human element, crew scheduling.
And let me tell you, this is widely considered the absolute hardest constraint of the whole operation. It's split into 2 crazy complex stages. First is crew pairing. This is where they build legal flight sequences respecting super strict flight time limits and mandatory rest periods. Once those legal pairings are built, they move to crew rostering. This is where they take actual human beings and assign them to those flights, juggling stuff like seniority, training schedules, and making sure everyone eventually gets to go back to their home base.
Aviation regulations are no joke. If a planner makes even one tiny error in a crew pairing, you risk massive cascading delays or outright cancellations. In fact, matching crews legally and efficiently is considered one of the toughest mathematical optimization problems out there.
So you've got this beautifully planned schedule. Enter Phase 4, the chaos, day of operational realities.
The scale of time involved here is just staggering. Airports secure precious departure slots, sometimes years ahead of time. But then, literally days or hours before departure, dispatchers are creating live flight plans, calculating exact fuel needs and backup airports based on live weather. It's a crazy mix of long-term planning and split-second adjustments monitored in real time.
But what happens when that pristine schedule meets a sudden thunderstorm? The domino effect. This right here is exactly why you might be sitting at the gate staring at a perfectly ready aircraft, but your flight is still delayed.
Your specific crew or your arrival slot might be held up by a storm somewhere completely different in the system.
So the crucial point is, what does all this behind-the-scenes complexity actually mean for you? Well, understanding this massive puzzle empowers you to make way smarter, stress-free bookings, especially if you're planning a major relocation.
Let's run through a few pro tips to take away from this explainer. 1. Choose realistic connection times. Do not book a 30-minute layover knowing the domino effect is a real thing. 2. Check the schedule reliability on your route. 3. Stay flexible during peak seasons. And 4. If you're moving for education, book super early for school intakes. The AI already knows you're coming, and those flights will fill up fast.
Look, planning a big move abroad is overwhelming enough without trying to navigate this crazy logistical maze by yourself. You absolutely don't have to solve this puzzle alone.
That is exactly where Travul comes in. They handle the whole shebang. They use their insider knowledge to secure smart flights, sure, but they also offer full visa assistance, incredible study now, pay later programs specifically for Canada, and complete relocation packages tailored perfectly for young Africans and Nigerians.
If you're ready to turn your travel dreams into a stressful reality, you've got to reach out to them. Visit travul.org right now, or slide into their DMs on Instagram and TikTok at @Travulism. There's a link in the description to help you secure the right flight to your future.
And that wraps up our dive into the hidden world of flight scheduling. I really hope this explainer opened your eyes to the insane operations happening behind your boarding pass. So, what is your dream destination or your wildest flight story? Drop it in the comments below. And hey, next time you're sitting at the gate frustrated by a 30-minute delay, just ask yourself, what massive, invisible, mathematical equation are you currently a part of? Safe travels, everyone, and I'll see you in the next explainer.